All right, people, what is going on? Uh, I don't really have a concise plan for this video. This is really just a rant. And the particular rant is against all the content creators who say you need to level up or you need to man up or you need to work harder or, boss up, particularly the people who just say you need to work harder. Now, here's the deal. When the words you need to work harder are brought into any conversation, they are almost uniquely pointed at men. It is almost, it is a very rare exception when that is pointed at women. We don't tell women to just work harder. We don't tell women to just level up. We don't tell them, like, we encourage this. Like, we encourage them, oh, yeah, go to college and get a job and be strong and independent, yada, yada, yada. We encourage them to work hard, but we don't throw it at them like, it's some sort of inadequacy if they don't do it. Right? Hard work is something that is only thrown at men like a social grenade, a mental grenade. Like, you're broke, you don't have the money you want. It's because you didn't work hard enough. Here's the problem. If you guys watch any kind of men's content, any kind of like Andrew Tate type stuff, anything where the people are encouraging men to be better or to do more or anything like that, you have heard those phraseologies. You've heard them say you need to man up. You heard them say you need to be stoic. You've heard them say that you need to work harder and, you should only be thinking about money 24 hours a day. You've heard the whole spiel. You've heard all the rhetoric. And here's the problem. When you give any pushback, when you show any sign of weakness, when you tell them you don't know what to do, the first thing they do is they kind of spit in your face by calling you a loser. Well, then you're a loser. If you're not working 30 hours a day, you're a loser, right? If you tell them you don't know what to do, then they'll say, well, then suffer and die. You got to man up. Like they just tell you, they basically just yell at you. And there's never a definitive solution. And what I mean by that is they can't give you a blueprint. These people can almost never give you a functional working blueprint for how exactly to work harder and to level up and to man up and boss up and all these other keywords. They can never give you a definitive solution. These people, almost all of them, they got their success. If, like, let's say they're an online coach. If they're like an online coach, an online personality, a streamer, a podcaster, something like that, these people have almost uniquely all got their success at a point in time where there was a linear or somewhat linear path to that success. If they got their money on YouTube, like if they blew up on YouTube, these people probably started live streaming or dropping content back in like 2016, 2017, 2018 at the latest. They started dropping content back when the algorithm was very standardized. It was very easy to make it back then. You hop online and you hit the algorithm with lots and lots of stuff, lots and lots of content. People will see your content. They'll like the content, they'll subscribe. And once they're subscribed, they're going to get you in their algorithm. So that's all you had to do. This is why people used to say, like, share, and subscribe. That they would say that over and over and over again. So much so that even YouTube, if you say the word subscribe, the subscribe button does like a little emote. It like lights up, or at least it used to. They may have changed that. Now, the YouTube algorithm is more driven by interest. If you make a video about football and people like football, that is what's going to pop. Your video will pop up in their feed. And when they click on your video, they watch that video, they will get more of your content for a very short period of time. And then it's on to the next thing. YouTube is very hyper aggressive about the trends. They don't care about what people are interested in terms of like the people they subscribe to. They only care about what are the people's interests. So like they are hyper aggressive toward trends. So it makes it that much more difficult to actually make it. Because if you have a football channel, well, maybe somebody's interested in football on a Tuesday, but then what about Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Maybe they're interested in something else. Well, if they're not interested in your channel, they're not going to see you. So even if you talk about other things, well, they're not going to see you, right? Because your channel is mostly football. So I'm not going to try to break down the algorithm. The point is, if you're on YouTube, if you're doing YouTube, if you're on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you know the algorithms are very, very aggressive, and it's all about riding trends, and it's all about, it's interest driven, right? It's no longer social media, it's interest media. So it's very difficult to make it. So what about college? Is college the same linear path? Just like social media used to have a somewhat linear path to success, college used to have a linear path to success. You go to college, you pick a good major, you get into the right clubs, you get into the right fraternity, you rub the right elbows, then you graduate, you get into the right apprenticeship or the right, internship, you get the job, you rub the elbows, you do the grunt work, and you work your way up. That's what it used to be. It's not that anymore. All of this, whether it's YouTube, whether it's college, whether it's the professional working world, it's not like it used to be. There is no linear path. And in all of this, every job market is oversaturated, whether it's because there's just, too many minority hires, whether it's because, there's too many, DEI hires. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube anymore. Whether it's, AI outsourcing everything, whatever the case might be, jobs are oversaturated and they're all in flux. So whatever the linear path used to be, that's not what it is now. So these people online, they're yelling at you to do more, work harder, man up, all of this. Okay, work harder at fucking what? Work harder at what? Do what? Can you give me a blueprint? Can you give me a functional working blueprint? And almost 9 out of 10, the answer is no. The answer is no 9 out of 10. If you tell these people, if you tell these people that they got on in an easier time, they're just going to scoff at you. And it's like, look, I'm not telling you that, you should feel sorry. I'm not, because no one is ever going to feel sorry for you, right? But what I'm saying is these people want you to buy their course. A lot of these people online in the men's space, these people want you to buy a course. Almost everybody online has some sort of course or service, whether it's a direct course or a coaching call, that service that they do, or whether they're selling a book, or whether there's some sort of mastermind course that they offer. And we've seen this shit from 2016, right? That's from 2016 to 2019, everybody was hawking courses. Everybody was selling books. Everybody had an e-product. Right? That in and of itself is a whole niche on YouTube. How to start a service, how to start a coaching service, how to write your first ebook, how to have an e-commerce business, how to do drop shipping, all of that. People have, banged that drum and they ran that well dry. But in 2025, you still see people doing that. So your favorite content creator, Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, this person, that person, they all have these services. But nobody has basic proof of concept that the shit works. But they'll all hop on the internet and yell and scream and rant and rave that you just need to work harder. Okay, fucker, work harder at what? Give me a blueprint. Show me proof of concept that your product works. They can't, because you're the product. When you watch their content, you get them AdSense revenue. When you donate to them, you give them money directly. When you buy their product, you're putting money in their pocket and there's no return on the investment for you. They can't show you 5 people who've bought their product and have benefited from it. They can't show you 10 people in their stupid ass mastermind course that actually benefit from it. These people have paid Discord servers that you can get into, and no one's benefiting from this shit, right? So I don't want to just go off on this wild tangent. It's just I'm so fucking sick of people saying work harder and then they don't have a blueprint. And their blueprint is figure it out. Figure it out is not a fucking blueprint. Figure it out is not a plan. And most of these people are old and they got on when it was way easier. And they tell young people to just work harder in a world where you have to contend with fucking AI. something that is 1,000 times better, faster, and more efficient than a human could ever be. So it's like, work harder at what? Give me a blueprint or shut your fucking mouth. So I'm not going to beat this into the dirt. If you guys are just as frustrated with me as me with, these people and their just work harder, spiel that has no real meat and potatoes behind it, has no real solution, drop a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I'll get back at you guys on the next one. Peace.